I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
I'm just kidding. No, because let's give it up for the Secret Service. Yeah. I don't want to be too hard on those guys, you know, because they're the only law enforcement agency in the country that will get in trouble if a black man gets shot. Are you saying boo or are you saying true?
You know, this is an interesting conversation we're having because we're missing the point. The point is that the data and the research and the information points to a disproportionate amount of discrimination, prejudice, and racism on the way this law is enforced.
You said racism.
Law is enforced. Now, Alderman Puente just made an interesting point that if you have XYZ amount of marijuana on you, it's illegal and X, Y, and Z happens. Well, the data tells us that the same amount of white people, the same amount of Spanish people, the same amount of all kinds of people have the exact same amount of marijuana on them. But it comes down to the discretion of a police officer. So the point is, it's not being enforced properly. We're not talking about what the rule is and what the law is. If it was across the board and all the numbers were representative of the amount of people who were participating in this activity, there would be no need for us to make this adjustment in this legislation. But because of the discrimination, prejudice, and racism that's involved with the discretion of the police officers, the burden is falling heavy on black males in the community. Those are the facts. That's what's before us. So all of the other rhetoric that we're talking about are not the issue. The issue is, let's make the numbers proportionate. Let's make the issue marijuana possession. Let's make that the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is discretion among the police department, discriminating against a certain segment of society. Now, I have a real concern about the reality, because we're looking at the numbers and the statistics, and it's telling us the reality. The reality of treating black males unfairly is okay. But we all know that's a national crisis right now. It shouldn't be okay to treat anybody unfairly. All of the things that this city is being sued about, cavity searches, people dying in police custody, if this was happening to any other segment of society, could you imagine how we would be feeling if it was female Europeans cavity searches? Do you know what our reaction would be? We'd have to close down the universe. What if it was white males who were getting shot accidentally by black police officers throughout the country? would that be something that we would be able to sweep under the rug? It's a national crisis. What we're talking about right here is doing something very minute to deal with what the national crisis is, which is the reality in this case, that it's okay to treat black males unfairly, even though we got all the data, all the statistics, all the numbers. And we're going to sit in this room and act like none of that matters. If I flip this upside down and tomorrow morning, if this was white suburban kids or white males that this was happening to, and black police officers were enforcing it, all of a sudden everybody gets 20/20 vision. If this was white females, all of a sudden everybody can see clearly. But because it's black males, and because our national crisis is okay to treat black males unfairly, we all want to act like we blind. Look at the numbers. Look at the facts. Look at the impact on the lives of the individual, and look at the impact on the community, and look at the impact on our taxing system. We're paying all of this money to house somebody in a jail, feed them, for this small amount of marijuana. Let's stick to the facts. We're just trying to adjust something that's out of whack. But we got a bigger crisis to deal with. It is not okay to treat black males unfairly. It is not okay to treat anybody unfairly, especially when we have the facts and the data in front of us that's telling us that it's unfair. Wake up.
Look what happened to desegregation. We're 50 years into Brown, and we've resegregated. Why? Because white people don't like black people, don't want to live with them, and sure don't want to go to school with them.
And that's not good.
I mean, please, just deal with it. Deal with it. Decentralization didn't work. Why didn't decentralization work? It didn't work because there was not enough money to implement it, and taxpayers don't want to pay any more money to educate, and not, at least not black people in the center cities. So, you know, anywhere you go, but I don't even want you to deal with the, what do you call it, anecdotal knowledge. I want you to deal with the studies. How about the study that they did in Northwestern, where the students sent out applications for jobs using names, black names and white names? How about that one? So Lakeisha Washington and Jamal Jones didn't get the job, but Brendan Fraser and Emily Walsh did? I mean, now how much clearer can you be that whiteness is important?
But then what do you say to a young black person in terms of, yeah, education is worth it, you gotta get out there, and the kinds of things that your mother used to say to you about get as educated as you can and you can beat the system.
It's not going to work. That's why these kids aren't doing anything in school. Don't you understand? They understand you're a big liar. And the other thing is, we're not doing anything about it. The preachers aren't doing anything about it. The teachers aren't doing anything about it. NAPSI's not doing anything about it. NAACP's not doing anything about it. The Urban League's not doing anything about it. Why? Because the topic is politically incorrect and must be sanitized.
Even at the expense of their own children's education.
It is done so. That's what's happening right now, right here, this minute. We don't have the courage that our people had during Jim Crow. Where is the Ida B. Wells? Where is the Mary McLeod Bethune? Where are they? We don't have the courage that our ancestors had.
Why not? It would seem that it doesn't take as much courage to step out there and fight the battles.
But it does.
It does?
Oh, yeah.
Even though on the surface, at least a lot of young people seem to feel, you know, things are, even young black people seem to feel, things are really so much better, and there's really not that much of a difference in terms of the way the races are being treated, and it really is a meritocracy, and you know, it'll all work out in the end.
That'll come out in the wash. My son has a PhD in animal science genetics. He can't get a job in any university because they choose Chinese. Now, why do they choose Chinese? Because they're cheaper.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
If you look at our communities, this is what you'll see. Every nationality have moved into our neighborhoods and set up all types of businesses. Arabs have started grocery stores, auto repair shops, and liquor stores. Hindus have set up motels and gas stations and small restaurants. Mexicans have set up restaurants and landscaping companies. The Chinese have set up restaurants and hair product stores. Any nationality can come in our neighborhoods and start any type of business they want. But our people can't even start a lemonade stand. They call us liquid money because we won't even support our own, neither do we desire to. In our neighborhood, there was a corner store owned by Arabs. And I remember they had a 16-year-old daughter. It was our money, the money of poor blacks patronizing their store, that put their daughter through college and law school. She's a lawyer to this day.
Funny how the media covers white riots versus black protests. Seems like when the protesters are black, the media uses some pretty harsh words.
The bad guys, lawlessness, looting, wild animals,
criminals, and thugs.
Thugs. Isn't it the right word?
However, if you're white and you're tearing up the city because of a game, you're just young people.
Young people danced on a flipped-over car.
As UK fans did stupid things.
Some maybe got a little out of control.
Seeing a scene like this just shows how passionate the UK fans are.
It's so tough to lose, and unfortunately the ugly side that we sometimes see in sports.
And notice how the police always show up to a black protest in military-grade equipment, and yet the media claims they're just doing nothing.
It's inexplicable why the police are doing nothing.
Let's mobilize the National Guard.
If I'm a riot and I see the police doing nothing, I might feel like I have a license.
You would.
But at white riots, the cops actually are standing around doing nothing.
Another group of cops over there just standing there.
No one was really doing anything.
These guys look like they could be watching a parade. And why is it that the leadership of the black community is always called into question?
Where is the leadership?
Leadership.
The black leadership.
The absence of leadership.
And it goes back to leadership, but that leadership has to come from the community.
But no one ever questions the leadership of white parents who let their kids burn down and vandalize their college campus.
These are just young college students who think they're playing some kind of a game with police officers.
You know, sometimes they don't even call a white riot a riot.
Party gone awry.
Some fans got a bit too rowdy after the win.
A dispute, a bloody brawl.
There was some type of altercation.
Waco, 170 arrested, 9 people dead.
They're not thugs.
Baltimore, no deaths, but it's a riot, chock full of thugs.
Thugs.
Just thugs. What if the media portrayed white rioters the same as black protesters? Let's switch the audio and see how it plays out.
Breaking news, violent protest.
What you're looking at is the unraveling of the civil society.
Criminals and thugs.
And they're raising hell, and they're destroying property.
These idiotic thugs, rioting and looting, are hurting their own people.
Wild animals burning buildings down.
Especially if they know the media's all there, right? Got the cameras on everyone. It's become its own reality show.
Who acts like that towards a police officer?
Think for yourself. Don't let racist media color your perceptions. Demand fairness in media coverage. Tell the media to put an end to calling black people thugs.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Just look at our people as a whole. Look at all the crazy things that's going on. We pass down from generation to generation problems and curses. Other people are inheriting cars, houses, land, businesses, but we pass on our drug habits, alcoholism, whoring and whoremongering, crime and poverty to our kids. The curses of the scriptures are a sign upon us as a people. This is why the world feels that they can do whatever they want to do to us, because they see how the Most High of the heavens is allowing all these things to come upon us as a people as a result of our disobedience and sin against the Most High. That's because we are the children of Israel.